FitXR just added 2 new features to their app. We got Zumba and Sculpt with weights. As someone that was handpicked by Zumba Fitness as one of their professional choreographers, I was immediately curious to see if FitXR had managed to bring the magic of Zumba Fitness into virtual reality, and how the Zumba studio would differ from the FitXR dance studio, which is, rough. Eager to find out, I jumped into the app where another big update caught me by surprise. Sculpt with weights? How? What? Obviously, we have a lot to cover, so stick around while I break down and give you my honest opinion on the new Zumba studio and Sculpt with weights, and let you know if this is something you can safely add to your workout routine. But before we start, I would like to thank FitXR for providing me with a free membership so that I can easily check out these new updates and do videos like this. And yes, FitXR is a subscription-only application that will cost you $12.99 US per month or $107.99 if you do the full annual subscription. FitXR is available through Quest and Pico. The membership gives you access to all of their studio, and they do add 7 new classes every single week. But if you're not sure it's the right fit for you, you can always try the 7-day free trial. I have to admit, I was very skeptical about the Zumba studio. Adopting a video game format is nothing new for Zumba. Still, the difficulty of interpreting the movements and following along that I experience every time I try the FitXR dance studio, I was doubting that Zumba in VR was gonna work out. But I played through all of the available classes, and this is what I found. The music is fantastic. It follows a Zumba formula and incorporates a variety of world rhythms, prioritizing salsa, merengue, cumbia, and reggaeton. The choreography incorporates the same basic steps that you will see in a live Zumba class, which makes it easier to just get into the dance and pick up on new combinations. The Zumba studio is also currently the only studio in FitXR that has a mixed reality option. But reading through the recent comments in the FitXR Facebook group, this might be changing in the near future. The choreography is communicated to you in multiple ways. The instructor will tell you when a new move comes up and try to describe it. There's a preview panel of the upcoming move, and the different colors at the base of the instructor's stage corresponds to different moves or combinations, so you know when it's going to be changing. You can choose to turn off the instructor's voice in the menu, and turning on focus mode will hide the preview panel as well as any visible indication of your score. But you'll still be able to know if you're hitting that perfect move that would give you 4 stars, as your controllers will be vibrating. Even though the classes are broken down into beginner, intermediate, and advanced, I honestly can't tell much difference between each level. I'm also a bit surprised to see this kind of a breakdown of a Zumba class, because one of the core principles of Zumba is that every class should be suitable for anyone, being your first Zumba class or your 100th. I have never been a fan of the digital avatars, and once again, I'm finding that they're limiting the program in many ways. In a live Zumba class, the participants are guided through the moves with a variety of cues that are subtle and communicated via body language that cannot be expressed by the digital avatars. Instead, we get instructors who talk and a preview board, both elements that just take away from your ability to just let yourself go in the movements and enjoy the class to its full potential. So the first time I ever took a Zumba fitness class, I had been really depressed for a long time. I had a friend of mine who dragged me into this packed studio full of this insane energy, and I walked out smiling for the first time in so long, and I just knew that I needed Zumba in my life. But a few weeks later, my instructor moved away, and the person who replaced her just didn't bring the same kind of energy. I was so sad, and I almost gave up on going until I decided to just say F it and make it my own party. Because why should I be holding back on my moves just because the instructor did? So I just went all out and ended up having a blast. This is exactly what I experienced with the FitXR Zumba studio. The music was there, the moves were sort of there, but something was missing. The second I decided to turn on focus mode and turn off community mode, so no other distracting avatars around me or scoreboards or anything like that, and then decided to just add a little extra sass to the moves and do the turn if I wanted to do the turn. That's when I started to have a lot of fun. So much of the workout in dance and Zumba comes from really small moves, like an added chest pump or a little bit of extra hip. Unfortunately, those details get lost with the digital avatars, kind of robbing us from the workout that it could have been. Overall, I found that FitXR's Zumba studio was a lot of fun, and it is definitely one that I will be returning to. But I will likely just keep off the scoreboards and not worry about any of my points. Dancing is such a good physical and mental release, and I find the Zumba studio much more engaging and fun than the dance studio, which honestly should just be renamed to the aerobic studio. Obviously, I have a more complicated relationship with Zumba than most FitXR users, so I would love to hear what your experience have been with the FitXR Zumba studio and how you would compare it to a live Zumba class if you have ever gone to one. All right, Sculpt with weights. What the heck are you about? The Sculpt Studio was added to FitXR at the beginning of the year, and I have really enjoyed it so far. You can check out this video up here or in the description if you want a more detailed review of this studio. My only wish is that the mixed reality mode is brought to the studio as soon as possible, as it would be incredibly useful to have a mirror to check on your form when you're going through these classes. But instead, we got weights. The Sculpt with Weights is a separate collection that is added to the Sculpt Studio and will not replace the original classes. I decided to take the Sculpt Intro and Warm-Up class first, just so that I could see what this is all about and how FitXR decided to incorporate the weight. I am extremely glad to learn that the weights that they are recommended are 1 pound secured wrist weight. Although I did find it concerning that the weights were added in the warm-up already. When you are doing weighted workouts, you really do need to extend your warm-up past what you would normally do. And the first part of that warm-up should be without any weight. So make sure that you add this on your own. I am happy to see that the instructors are adding safety tips at the beginning of each class. The moves are mostly slow, which adds to the safety factor. There are, however, a few moves in the advanced classes that are quite quick, and I would not recommend using anything over 2 pounds per hand to prevent injury. When getting your wrist weights, there's a few things to consider. I use these piloxing gloves that is part of a group fitness program that I used to teach. I know you can still get like these or at least similar ones on Amazon, so I'll drop a link for you down in the description. The reason I love these is because they are 2 pounds, which make them safe to use in fast movements, and the finger attachment and the Velcro makes it sit on my hand without moving around. If you're using something like a loose wrist strap that will move around while you're moving, this will add a lot of friction and can also add a lot of extra stress to your muscles and joints when working out, which can result in injury. If you decide to add weights to your FitXR Sculpt classes, I also recommend that you use your phone and film yourself. Not only will that help you check on your form, but it will also help you check on your wrist placement. If adding the weights to your wrist leads to your wrists bending and you're not able to keep a straight line between your knuckles and your elbow for the entire class, then you're using too much weight and you might need to just back off for a little bit. Make sure that you are working out within your means both technically and strength-wise. Sculpt with Weights is a great addition to FitXR's workout collection. And my biggest tip for you is just to really consider which muscles you are working in every single move. As an example, when the instructor says to do a chest press, really think about engaging your chest muscles, contracting it as you're pressing forward, instead of just, moving your arms without any purpose. Taking that extra minute to just set a target and a purpose from your workout takes it from being just moving around and breaking a sweat to really building your strength and improving your fitness. There are multiple ways of doing that, so check out this video right here for an in-depth example.